Good morning, pupils. My name is Miss Collins, and how are you today? Okay, well, I am good as well. So, today, our subject for today will be English language, whereby we will be looking at some part of speech, and we'll be looking at one of the parts of speech, which are mainly adjectives. Right? So, our presentation is based on adjectives. So, I will start this lesson today by giving you a definition or what are adjectives, right? As we all know, adjectives are describing words, right? It is also a word that describes an animal, place, or thing. It also describes what we can feel, what we can like to touch and taste, right? And also nouns and pronouns. Well, as you can see there, animal, place, or thing, that is classified as nouns, right? So, I have a little video here for you on adjectives, so I would like you to sit back, relax, and pay keen attention as I play this video. Okay, people, so far we've seen that this is the hen, and the hen have some friends, and all of the hen friends are lazy, right? The cat, he were lazy as well. He said if he worked, his fur would get dirty, right? Then the pig was also cute, right? And also lazy, right? And all the rooster was lazy as well. So all three of the hen friends is lazy, as you can see so far. But the hen, right? The hen is she was very hardworking. Well, she loved to work, right?
For bread. The hen asked her friends for help, but no one helped her. The pig said, "If I work in dirt, I look ugly." The rooster said, "I don't want to become thin." The cat refused to work, saying, "My fur will be dirty."
Okay, as you can see there, she wanted to make some bread, so she had needed some wheat, right? And in order for her to get the wheat, she need to grow it, right? So she can get it to make bread. So she asked her friends for help, and the rooster said, "I don't want to become thin." So the rooster was telling her that she wouldn't want to help her to grow the wheat so that she can make bread. The pig also said, "If I work in dirt, I will look ugly," right? So the pig told her that he won't be able to help her either because he would look ugly after he finished, right? Then you have the cat. The cat said, "My fur will be dirty." So the cat also denied the saying that she asked him for help, right? So he denied that fact as well.
But the hen worked hard and grew some wheat. One day, she happily said, "This field is looking so beautiful now."
So, as you can see there, the hen did all the work by herself, and as you can see here, the field is looking beautifully, right? So her hard work didn't went to waste, right?
The hen needed him to cut the crop. The hen thought, "I will ask my friends for help."
So she needed help to cut the crop or to cut the wheat, right? So she was thinking if she can ask her friends for help, but before she asked them for help and they didn't. So do you think that they will help her this time? Okay, let's see what will happen.
The cat did tell me. It said, I would become weak if I were. The pig also did tell. The pig said, that is a hard job. The rooster did tell. He said, I don't want to work. Go away. The hen did all the work alone. The hen said to herself, I'm so tired. The hen made a big cake using flour.
Yes, so the wheat that the end that she picked it, right? She used the wheat to make flour, and then she used that flour to make a big cake, right?
The pig, cat, and rooster came inside, smelling the yummy cake. The hen said, I grew the crop. I cut it. This cake is only for me.
When the hen said that the cake is only for her, was she being greedy? You think she was being greedy since she did all the work by herself, right? She grew the crop, then she cut it, and then she made the cake all by herself. Did you think she was greedy? Okay.
Her friends realized their mistake. The rooster said, we are really sorry.
So they have realized what they have done, right? And they decide to apologize to her, right? And that was something very great. So they apologized to her.
The hen forgave them. Then they all ate the cake happily. Let us learn adjectives. Adjective is a word that describes a person, animal, place, thing, etc. So an adjective is a describing word. The rooster was fat and lazy. The word fat and lazy describe the rooster. So they are describing words or adjectives. The pig
So as you can see there, another word for adjectives can be describing words, right? So instead of adjectives, we can say describing words.
pig was very cute. The word cute describes the pig. So cute is an adjective. The cat had shiny fur. Shiny describes the fur of the cat. It is an adjective. The hen made a big cake. The word big describes the size of that cake. So big is an adjective. The hen said, this field is looking so beautiful now. The word beautiful describes the field. So it is a describing word or an adjective. Here the word active describes the nature of that hen. So it is an adjective. Remember, adjectives are used to describe something like person, animal, place, object, etc. That is why adjectives are also called describing words, like active hen, lazy rooster, cute pig, tasty cake. Active, lazy, cute, etc. describes a person, animal, etc. So these are adjectives. Tasty, sweet, bitter, sour, soft, hard, etc. describe objects. So they are adjectives too. Remember, adjectives are describing words. Goodbye, children.
Yes, so I think the video was was a very interesting video that we have learned so much about adjectives, right? That we can discuss with our fellow pupils, right, in our class, and pupils also from other classes. We all should know now what are adjectives, right? So we move on to look at how adjectives are used in sentences, right? So here I have some sentences, right? The first one is, I have a lovely bag. So lovely here is adjectives because it describes the bag. Because we said before that adjective can also call describing words, right? Then we have the next sentence here. He is a tall and handsome boy, right? He is tall, right? That's an adjective. And we also have handsome. That's another adjective there, right? So when writing sentences with adjectives, right, we can put more than one adjectives in one sentence, right? There is nothing wrong with putting more than one adjectives in one sentence. Then we have the next sentence here. It was a cold and windy night, right? So there we also see that there are two adjectives there, right? So the next sentence say the boy is lazy, right? And our last sentence reads, they live in a beautiful house, right? So beautiful there, as we all seen in the story before, right? With the hen and her lazy friends, right? After she grew the crops, she said when she went to the field to cut them, she said that it looked beautiful, right? Then we have some examples of adjective here, or some words, right, that we can use in sentences here. So we have black, we have big, pretty, cold, hot, ugly, and then lastly we have lazy, which was used a lot of time in the story that we viewed before, right? Okay, pupils, before we end off today's lesson, I would just like to leave a thought with you, right? To just remember that adjectives are describing words, and adjective describes nouns, and we all know nouns are person, place, animal, or thing, right? So an adjective can also describe what we feel, what we like to touch and taste, right? Good. So that has bring us to the end of our lesson for today, right? And I would like to give you your homework, and from the story that we have looked at earlier, I would like you to look back at that story, and you will pick out all the adjectives that was listed in that story, right? Not just some of the adjectives, all of the adjectives. And when you take out these adjectives, you will try to memorize these adjectives, and also you will make sentences with two or more of these adjectives. So you don't have to make sentences with all of the adjectives that you take out from the story, but some of them, right? You can choose, the majority is 5 sentences, so you must have 5 sentences based on the adjectives that we have learned from the story, right? So that has brought us to the end of today's class, and I hope you have learned something very important about adjectives, and you will use them correctly, right? And not just that if you go home today and your family member or a friend ask you what you've learned in class today, you should be able to say, well, I have learned about adjectives, and it was a very fun topic, and I have learned a story which is namely the N and her lazy friends, right? And as we see in the story before, that the N friends, they were very lazy. They didn't help her do anything, right? But at the end, they still wanted a bite of the cake that she had made. But she was so kind-hearted and forgiving that she forgave them, right? And she shared the cake with all of them. So thank you for listening. That's the end of our lesson.